Now, the assigned gospel lesson for this day is a lesson that generally clergy despise because it puts people like me in a bad light. And you know that no clergy likes to be seen in that way. Anyway, that's a lead-in to please stand for the reading of the gospel. Jesus was teaching in one of the synagogues on the Sabbath, and just then there appeared a woman with a spirit that had crippled her for 18 years. She was bent over and unable to stand up straight. When Jesus saw her, he called to her, and he said, "Woman, you are set free from your ailment." And when he laid his hands on her, immediately she stood up straight and began praising God. But the leader of the synagogue, indignant because Jesus had cured on the Sabbath, kept saying to the crowd, "Hey, there are 6 days on which to work, ought to be done. Come on those days if you want to be cured, not on the Sabbath day." But the Lord answered him and said, "You hypocrites! Does not each of you on the Sabbath untie his ox or his donkey from the manger and lead it away to give it water? And ought not this woman, a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan bound for 18 years, he set free from this bondage on the Sabbath day?" When he said this, his opponents were put to shame. But the entire crowd rejoiced at all the wonderful things Jesus was doing. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Seated. Jesus is on the Sabbath day doing what I do. He is a preacher. The Gospels, one of their favorite designations for Jesus is rabbi, teacher. He is teaching. He is in the synagogue. We think Israel invented the synagogue during the time of exile in Babylonia. What do you do when you're a stranger in a strange land far away from home? Well, you get together once a week on the Sabbath and you read and you listen and you sing the songs of Zion. And down through the years, the teaching that goes on in the synagogue has kept Israel as Israel. The Jewish faith is a very intellectual approach to religion. And in other words, they're doing what we do right here on a Sunday morning. We have reading and we have listening, and then we have teaching, speaking. That's what Jesus is doing. Jesus is teaching, he's preaching. And even with Jesus doing the preaching, I, as a preacher, find it interesting, Luke records not one single word of anything Jesus said that day. Of course, to be fair to Luke, Jesus had his sermon interrupted. He's starting to speak, and this woman suffering from a terrible affliction, this nameless woman, her only designation is a woman who is crooked, a woman with a bent back. She is therefore somebody who has no name. She is defined by, enslaved by her illness. She cries out, "Oh, Jesus, have mercy on me." And Jesus stops what he's saying about the love of God, and he enacts and does the love of God. He heals this woman. He interrupts his sermon in order to enact the sermon. Since you're from North Carolina, let me just note here, don't you find it interesting when Jesus is confronted by this needy woman, he does not say, "First, show me a governmentally authorized form of identification." Nor does Jesus say, "First, you must submit to a humiliating drug test before we do good to you." I mean, even the governor knew that was a stupid idea from the legislature. Nor does Jesus do what we often do in the church by saying, well, first of all, are you one of the deserving poor? Or are you one of the shiftless, lazy poor? No, none of that. He just immediately stops his speaking and does the good news. He heals her. And I guess I have to note that the religious authorities, those who keep the truth, those who deliver the truth on the Sabbath, those who interpret the truth, they hate Jesus for doing this. Immediately a controversy breaks out. One of the clergy says, hey, we've got 6 days a week to do good. Today is the day when we're supposed to be here and sit here and be taught and listen. And Jesus, the story ends with the religious authorities despising Jesus, but the crowd saying, wow, God has really come near to us. They gather on the Sabbath and they do what we do once a week ourselves. I talk and I read and you sit and you listen. And you have learned. I don't like to be interrupted in the middle of a sermon. I can't stand it when you will throw something or yell out some word of criticism. I can't stand that. Let the record show Jesus is quite different. Sometimes we learn about Jesus through what he says. And sometimes we learn more about Jesus by what he does and what he doesn't say. When we defined following Jesus as basically sitting and listening to the truth, this story suggests we've missed a lot of the truth. Because Jesus is more than simply conveying correct truth. He's about doing the truth. Jesus has mercy. He has compassion. He has few questions for this person in need, rather he reaches out in need. Now, God has given us a great treasure in our youth. But God, we believe, has not only given us a gift in giving us these young people, but God has given us an assignment. And that is, it's our duty to form them into the faith. Why does this church not send its youth in the summer to a week at Disney World or Atlantic City? Many have asked this. Why do we not do that? Why do we send them to the Appalachian Service Project, West Virginia, down to Camp Rockfish to work among those in need in eastern North Carolina? Now, why do we do that? It's because we think this story that I read here from Luke's Gospel, we believe that's the truth about who God really is and who we are supposed to be to worship this kind of God. I had intended to do my usual 40-minute sermon, but this sermon has been interrupted by the youth.
Good morning. This is Gare McCullough, United Methodist reporter for WUMC-TV, coming to you from the heart of Durham, North Carolina, where eyewitnesses at this historic church report local teens transforming the world. Who are these revolutionaries, and what are they up to?
Hi, my name's Wesley, and this was my second year doing ASP. Is that the people that you're working for are very nice and that they deserve a lot better than what they're getting, and so you just tell them that they should go and help them out so that those people can get what they deserve, which is a good home to live in and stuff.
I'm Jenna, and this is my second year at Rockfish.
I'm Chris, and this was my first year at Rockfish.
We went to a nursing home and talked to patients there.
We went to a food bank and helped clean it up.
We went to a Salvation Army and sorted out the clothes and luggage and everything there.
We stayed at camp and cleaned up all the trails.
Hi, I'm David, and this was my second year at Rockfish. I'm Emma, and this is my second year at Rockfish.
Hi, my name is Sid, and this was my first year at Rockfish.
I'm Jordan, and this is my first year at ASP. I did things I'd never done before, like worked with power saws and nails and boards of wood.
Will, first year.
Sarah, first year.
Steve, second year.
In my ASP scrapbook, I would put in a picture of peanut butter and honey sandwiches because every day at lunch we would have those, and we would sit down and just like relax and like reflect on the stuff we've done all day.
My name is Annie Whitty, and I went to Camp Rockfish. I learned that when you're all thrown together and you're given a task, it comes out really well in the end, and you all get really close.
Hi, I'm Sid.
I'm Hope. I'm Emily.
I'm Julie.
Well, this is our 4th mission trip as a family. Is that right?
No, it's 5th.
5th mission trip as a family.
No.
No, it's way more.
No, it's I've gone on 8 mission trips, and only one of them I went on by myself. The rest with all of us.
We've been on several mission trips as a family.
From the hills and hollows of West Virginia to the coastal plain of North Carolina, adolescents, grown men and women, in some cases entire families are involved. This movement is more widespread than we originally thought. WUMC-TV sent photographers on location to Appalachia Service Project and Rockfish Service Camp. They returned with these shocking images. Viewer discretion is advised.
Heading down south to the land of the pines. I'm thumbing my way into North Carolina, staring up the road and pray to God I see headlights. I made it down the coast in 17 hours, picking me a bouquet of dogwood flowers, and I'm hoping for Raleigh I can see my baby tonight. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me.
So, I guess when, like maybe in an English class, when we're thinking about other people's perspectives, and I can relate to another perspective of like someone living in West Virginia.
Turning back to living that old life no more. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me.
I think it felt spiritual a lot of times. Kind of at the end when we were leaving, just the woman saying she loved us and wanting us to come back next week, not someone else. And looking at what we've done and knowing we did it for Christ and for her also, but through him. And just other times bonding with people from other churches because we had that in common through that. So.
It's kind of an all work and no play atmosphere.
That is not true.
From the Cumberland Gap to Johnson City, Tennessee, I gotta move on before the...
went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down, come on down. Come on, brothers, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord.
At the end of the week, for me, it was, we had our closing campfire, which is much more intense and very spiritual. And at the end, we were told that we could go up to the front and either kneel on sort of the rail looking over the lake or by the cross. And I never really do that stuff. I never really done something like that before, and that was the first time I've ever done that.
A moment for me was we had the chance one night to lead a worship for our group, and we split up into 3 groups. One led music and singing, and the other led prayer, and another group led the message. And it was great to see everybody's look on things and to come together as a group and have a great worship and just praise God through ourselves and just see that He's working through us to make a difference in people's lives.
They go out from Durham, North Carolina, to dig ditches, replace floors, comfort the sick, befriend the stranger. They endure untold hardship, cramped quarters, withering heat, cold showers, wild animals, peanut butter and jelly for days on end, and perhaps most astonishing of all, no cellular phone service. We're left to wonder why. What would lead ordinary Americans to leave the comforts of home for a week of service? The answer, it seems, lies in the amazing grace of God in churches like Duke Memorial, where teens are making disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. This is Gare McCullough, WUMC TV, bringing you the good news.